Hello दोस्तों, how are you all? I hope you guys are good. So दोस्तों, today's topic is all about Ansible roles. But before we get started, if you have not already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss any of my future videos, right? Now let's jump right into Ansible role, right? So first is role variables and defaults, right? So in Ansible, a role is a way to organize and package your automation task into reusable units. Get it? So role variables and defaults are an important part of roles as they allow you to customize the behavior of your automation based on specific needs. So here an explanation of role variable and defaults, right? So first is role variables. So role variables are placeholders that can be defined within an Ansible role to make it adaptable and configurable, right? So these variables can be used to store values that might change from one environment to or based on specific requirements. Get it? So they allow you to separate the logic of your role from the actual data, making it easier to reuse and maintain your automation code. Get it? So a real-time example is, let's consider a scenario where you have an Ansible role that installs and configures a web server. Get it? So within the role, you can define variables such as web server port, web server root, and web server users. So these variables will be used to determine the port number the web servers listen on and the root directory of the web server and the user that will run the web server process. Okay, so by defining these variables as role variable, you can easily customize them based on your specific requirements. Okay, for instance, you might want to run the web server on port 8080 instead of the default port is 80. So in that case, you can simply override the value of web server port when you use the role. Get it? Without modifying the underlying automation code. Next is role defaults. So role defaults are predefined values assigned to role variables. Get it? So they serve as fallback values that are used when a particular variable is not defined or when an explicit value is not provided. Get it? So when using the role, right? So default help in providing sensible and predictable behavior out of the box. So reducing the need for users to define every variable explicitly. Get it? So real-time example is continuing the with the web server role example, right? Like you can define default values for the variable, right, mentioned earlier. So for example, you can set web server port to 80 and web server root to var www and then html, right? Basically this is the path, right? And web server user to www dash data, right? So these defaults will be used when user of your role don't override them with their values. Get it? So by providing sensible defaults, you make it easier for users to get started with your role without requiring them to define every variable. They can simply use the role as is or override the defaults when needed, right. So overall, like role variables and defaults in Ansible help in making your automation code more flexible, reusable, and easy to understand, and they allow users to customize the behavior of your roles without modifying the underlying code. Get it? So resulting in more manageable and adaptable automation workflows, right? So next is Ansible roles. in including and using role in playbooks, right? So in Ansible, roles are a way to organize and package automation tasks. You can include and use role in playbooks to structure your automation code and make it more modular and reusable. Get it? So here an explanation of including and using role playbooks, right? So including role in playbooks. So to include a role in an Ansible playbook, you use the roles keyword, right? So along with the desired role name, this tells Ansible to execute the task defined within that role during playbook execution. Get it? So example is, let's say you have a playbook for setting up a web server and you want to include a pre-built role code like web server role. So that install and configures the web server software. So you can include this role in your playbook by specifying it under the role section like this. Get it? So in this example, when you run the playbook, Ansible will execute the task defined within the web server role. Get it? On the host specified under the web server. Get it? Or web server groups. So using variables with roles, right? So roles often required customization based on specific requirement. Ansible allows you to pass variable to roles, allowing you to configure their behavior. Example is like continuing with the web server role example. Let's assume the web server role has a variable called web server port. Get it? So which determines the port on which the web server listens. So you can pass a value to this variable when including the role in your playbook, right? For example, name is set up web server, host is this, task is install and configure web server, roles is this, and where's is web server port is 8080. Get it? So in this example, web server role, get it, will be use the provided value of web server port 8080 instead of its default value, right? So this allows you to customize the role's behavior without modifying the underlying code. Get it? So using tags with roles. So tags in Ansible allow you to selectively execute specific tasks or roles during playbook execution. Get it? For example, let's say your playbook includes multiple roles and you want to execute only the task within the web server role. Get it? So you can assign a tag to the role and then use tag to limit the execution, right? So in this example, by using the dash dash tag web server, get it, command line option, when running the playbook, only the task within the web server role, get it, will be executed. So by including and using roles in playbook, you can organize your automation code into reusable units and customize their behavior using variables and selectively execute them using tags. So this approach helps in maintaining a modular and scalable automation infrastructure. Get it? So thank you all for watching this video. To quickly recap, we discussed in this video is including and using roles in playbook and role variable and defaults. Get it? So hopefully you find the information useful and learn something new. If you have any questions or would you like to share your thoughts, please leave a comment below and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. We appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care and have a fantastic day.